This post is made possible in part by Audible. Get 2 free audiobooks when you sign up using the special link at indieJourno.com.
Joining me now from Nashville is Carol Swain. She is a law professor and political science professor there. Carol, thank you for joining me, and let me jump right into this. The question I have for you is, you do a simple Google search on Steve Bannon, and across the board, the word white supremacist comes up. A lot of Americans are frankly afraid of this man being in power.
Well, I should tell your viewers that I have authored 2 books on white nationalism that were published by Cambridge University Press. And in that, the first book, The New White Nationalism in America, I talked about a new kind of nationalism that was not the old-fashioned white supremacy, but it was people who were very intellectual in their arguments. They used social science data, civil rights laws to make the case that whites were like any other racial or ethnic group, that white rights were being trampled, that there were racial double standards. And these people, I felt, were reaching mainstream Americans because they were pointing out contradictions and policy areas where we all have an interest in the government addressing. And so when I see someone like Steve Bannon, I don't see him as a white supremacist or a white nationalist. I see him as someone who violates all the rules of political correctness. And I believe the media and the people that are putting out all the information about his being a white supremacist, that this is being done for political reasons.
If you look, though, at even the Southern Poverty Law Center, since Trump was elected, there have been a spike in violence against minorities. Many people say that's because of the sentiment that the Trump campaign put out there even before he was named president-elect. So why even
to the wrong person when you mention the Southern Poverty Law Center, because in my opinion they are a hate group.
You're saying that at this day and age we almost have to treat Caucasian Americans as a minority group, and those are the rights that we are protecting by folks like this man going into Trump's inner circle?
That's not exactly what I'm saying, but whites are a minority in certain parts of the country. I think that as long as we as Americans push identity politics, that we can expect white Americans as well as members of other groups to think in terms of their ethnic identity. It's not good for America if we're divided in those ways. And I think that we all should pull back from the multiculturalism and identity politics that focuses on our own group as opposed to what's in the national interest.
You simply Google his name, Steve Bannon. The entire thing comes up as fear. Why would you even associate yourself as if you're trying to unite the country with an individual that clearly there's a fear associated with his name and his brand?
Where's the fear coming from? We already know that there are organized groups, and Google works for the National Security Agency. I wrote about that in my book, Be the People, A Call to Reclaim America's Faith and Promise. And so there are all kinds of things on the internet. It's very easy to get rumors started. And so there's fear mongering, and the political left is very adept at doing that. And so we should encourage people to not believe everything they read on Google and on the internet, because there have been many reports of Google sort of spiking what they do and causing certain things to trend and other things not to trend. We do have problems in this country. Mr. Trump will have to prove himself. He walks into a very difficult situation, but we need to not kid ourselves about the propaganda that's taking place among people on the left who just lost this election.
Okay, well, listen, we value every opinion here. We want to consider every word that is out there. And hopefully, even if you have an opinion, get over to our website, indieJourno.com, go to the story page, and leave your comment. We're going to be monitoring this one very closely. So, Carol, thank you so much. And hopefully this continues to spark a discussion as we move forward to Trump presidency?